Hello guys, Yoander here. So I just got off the phone with this guy. He was trying to talk me into network marketing, right? That worked when I was 20, 21, 19. Matter of fact, that's how I declared bankruptcy. Chapter 7, summer of 2000, I was 20. And I declared bankruptcy over 18 grand, mainly credit card debt because I got involved with network marketing. And I mean, I was young and dumb, just like many of you, many of us, right? We're young and dumb, and that's how we learn. But you know, over time, I've been introduced to many network marketing opportunities because I tend to get involved with people who are entrepreneurial, right, and they want to do better. And but three things that never make sense to me. One is the product, right? The product, I always found these products to be of lesser quality. Let's just put it that way. I mean, take a look at the one that's been around forever, Herbalife. They're huge. I mean, they're the sponsor of the Galaxy. I mean, they're all over the place. Those guys were able to afford to pay, what's the name of the soccer player? Ronaldo, I don't know how many million to sponsor their name on his jersey, or he did a commercial for them or something. I mean, and there's many different, I mean, if you just Google or YouTube, wherever you want to go, and put MLM scams, oh man, there's so many, right? The industry is not known to be one of integrity. And I think part of the reason is people's agenda, you know, like this guy talking to me, right? Supposedly he was out to serve me and to look out for me in my financial future, right? But his real agenda, he wanted to enroll me into his downline to grow his business, right? That was his agenda. So people's motivation is not pure, and anything that's not pure is a fail from the get-go, right? So people's agenda is the other thing that doesn't bother. So it's the products and people's agenda. I mean, Herbalife. I don't know if any of you have had Herbalife. I mean, I had it, and you know, I didn't necessarily feel all the effects that the people that sold it to me said I would. I wasn't any more energized than I am now. I just drink coffee in the mornings and water. You know, normal. I'm normal, right? I didn't. My sex drive didn't increase as they said it would. You know, I'm still doing it. You know, about 3 times a week. Sundays we tend to put a second one in there. What was the other promise? Sex drive. It was energy, focus, right? I said I would be. Man, I'm still all over the place. I'm like, right now. If you guys could see my brain, you would see like 20 deals here. I gotta get back to this one. This one's here. I gotta get paid for this one. This one I gotta get a closing. I gotta call the escrow company. Right? All kinds of stuff going on in my brain, mainly around real estate. But the last thing that I didn't like about network marketing is control. I mean, so let's say you do find a kick-ass product that really benefits the people that you're serving. Let's say your motives are actually good, and you really are out there to improve the lives of other people and empowering them and work on their mentality and their self-image and their communication and all this, right? To make them a good asset to a community and to yourself to be able to produce for you, right? Control. I mean, who's really in control at the end of the day? I mean, you're up to the mercy of that network marketing company. There's many different examples of companies that get sued and then they're out of business the next month. I mean, what about all those distributors? Where do they go? You know, so who's in control? You know, you're building this big organization thinking you're in control when it's really up to the mercy of the parent company, you know, and hopefully they don't get sued. Nobody does anything stupid. And so I didn't like that. You know, I want to be in control. And that's why I like real estate, right? In real estate, the product is awesome, right? I mean, we're providing housing, right? That's never going to go away. We all need it. The agenda, I mean, I can't speak for our investors, but in our company, for example, the agenda is always pure. We always go to the seller's appointments with a legitimate agenda. We want to help these people. And that's like, we usually end up walking out of a deal. And when we don't do a deal, it's okay because it just wasn't the right fit. But our motivation, and this took me a while to understand. At the beginning, I was like everyone else because nobody really teaches this side of the business. They teach you how to do marketing and get contracts and show up there and, you know, be kind of fake and talk about their pictures on the wall and try to use that as a bonding point to build rapport and all this. It doesn't work. I mean, it works, but if there's levels of rapport, right, and this is 10, And what everybody teaches is probably at a 2 or 3. They don't know how to teach all this, because this, to go from 3 to 10, it's all on you. It requires a lot of personal development. It requires you to build up your self-esteem, self-image. It requires you to just do a lot of work on yourself, right? And a lot of these people, they don't even work on themselves. So how can they teach you to work on yourself, right? So the product is great. People's agendas, for the most part, is great. Some of the best people, the happiest, the most energetic, the most generous people that I know are in real estate. They're investors in different facets. And the last one is control. I mean, when you buy a piece of property, who's in control? If you own that deed, nobody can take that from you. Well, maybe the IRS if you don't do your taxes right. But the point is, you're in control, right? You build a note, you're in control. I don't know if a better, more passive way to make monthly income than by creating notes. I mean, people think rentals. I agree with Mitch in that sense that, you're not really collecting those $300 a month you think. You're really collecting money for the plumber or the AC guy once that breaks down, because that's your property. Whereas when you build a note, when you create a note, hey, you are the bank. So you're not gonna have to deal with any of that. You don't hear about leaky toilets, tenants paying late, any of that stuff that we dealt with if we're being landlords. And I am still a landlord in some of the properties. And it's not a bad strategy. And that's why I like real estate, because it requires you to think through each deal, to think through each of the seller situation, to think how you're going to structure it and fund it and dispose of it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's something that I don't see myself stop doing for a very long time, because there's always something to learn. There's always a better way to structure a deal. I've been doing this for 4 years now, full time. And there's lessons that, wow. What was the latest lesson? That is important. Oh, ordering a payoff on a sub-2. No one taught me that. I learned sub-2s from Bill Bronchick. He never says to order a payoff on a sub-2. And the reason you want to order a payoff on a sub-2 is because, no, I take that back. You do order a payoff. If somebody wholesales you a deal, make sure you order a payoff, right? So that's what happened. Somebody wholesaled me a deal. It was a sub-2 deal. And the numbers worked. The number looked good at face value. He gave me the mortgage statement, which the way I used to do it before was that I would just take the mortgage statement at face value. I would do my own research. I would take it to the title company, get a title commitment, make sure there were no other liens against this property. However, you have no idea. If you don't order a payoff, you have no idea what internal liens there are within the bank in reference to that account. By internal liens, so what happened in this deal was that, sure enough, no other liens, it's just the first lien from this bank. However, when I finally came to pay it off and I ordered the payoff, I found out that this guy had not paid a bunch of late fees. There was a year he skipped on insurance, so they force placed the insurance on his account, and he still owed for that. He never paid that, and the taxes. He didn't pay for the taxes 1 year, so they tacked on that amount on top of his payoff. So anyways, it was an additional $6,000 that I had no idea. But I would have found out if I had ordered a payoff when I bought that property sub-2, because in the title company, they could, it's not a lien, it's an internal lien within the bank about their fees. So that's one lesson I learned recently. And there's so many. I can spend the next hour going through lessons after lessons that I have not read or watched or studied. It's just personal experience, and mainly around the area of creative financing. And I think that's why very few people talk about creative financing, because there's so many things that can go wrong. You almost have to take one deal at a time, and each deal is different. And that's not scalable, right? And I try to scale it, and it's not scalable. Anybody that tells you scalable is not. A wholesale company is scalable because there's a formula built into it. Hey, boom, so many leads per appointment, appointments per contract. We get it at this price, we sell it at this price, we dispose of it with our borrowed money, or we assign it, whatever. That's scalable. It's very easy to teach. It's very easy to pass on the formulas. But on the creative side, you really have to get involved, and you really have to get into that person's life. You know, you really have to get into their drama to do it effectively. You know, and you almost have to put your hand around their shoulder and say, hey, everything's gonna be okay. I got you. I'll take care of you. You know, based on my expertise, my resources, what I know, I can solve this problem for you. And you don't have any equity, it's all good. We'll still make it work. And thank you. You know, and there's so many different strategies and so many different ways to do this that it's hard to scale. I haven't been able to successfully do it. The only way I've been able to, I wouldn't say scale, but replicate myself is JV, through joint ventures with other investors who want to learn how to do this, but they don't know quite how. So they joint venture with me. They bring me the deal. We do a deal together. They get to experience the paperwork, the process, how we exit, how we enter, the whole works, in hopes that they learn the process and go on and do the next deal on their own. It doesn't quite always happen. They keep coming back. This isn't hard, but when it's not your thing, it's not your thing, you know. So, you know, within real estate, there's so many things within real estate to do, so many exits. There's so many niches within real estate, right? That